рота і келих вогню.
I don't believe it, Ron said in stunted voice, as the Hogwarts students, feeling buzzed up the steps behind the party from Dumpins. Crumb, Harry, Victor Crumb, for heaven's sake, Ron has only a Quidditch plane. Yes, Hermione, only a Quidditch plane. Ron sighed, looked at her sword. The cold believe it yours. Hermione, she one of the best seekers in the world. I had no idea that was still at school. As the record said, the entrance hall with the rest of the Hogwarts students. Thinking for the grand hall, Harry, they left George, jumping up the down on the soles of his heel to get a better look at the basket of crumbs held. Several 6-year girls were frantically searching their pockets of the wallet. Oh, I don't believe it. I have got a single girl on me. Do you think, heart, this my heart in elliptic? Leaving Hermione said loftily, yes, they passed the girl, now squabbling over the elliptic. I'm getting his autograph. If I can, said Ron. You haven't got a clue, have you, Harry? No, they upstairs in my bag, had Harry. They walked over to the Gryffindor table and sat down. Ron took care to sit on the side, facing the doorway, because Crumb and his fellow Gamstern students bear seat gather around him, apparently unsure about where they should sit. The students from Barbados had chose seats at the Reglando table. They were looking around the great hall with grim expression on their faces. Three of them were still clad crowns and shawls around their heads. It's not that cold, said Hermione, definitely. Why didn't they bring clothes? Over here. Come and sit over here. Ron, kids. Over here, Hermione. Bunch up. Make a space. What too late, said Ron bitterly. Victor Crumb and his hello demonstrate students had settled themselves at the Slytherin table. Harry could see Malfoy, Crabbe and Goyle, looking very smart about this. As he watched Malfoy bent forward to speak to Crumb.
Yeah, this right murmured to him Malfoy, said Rod scathingly. I bet Crumb can see right through him touch. Bet he gets people viewing or him all the time. Where do you reckon they're going to sleep? We called often him a space in dormitory, Harry. I won't mind giving him my bed. I called keep on a camp bed. Hermione snorted. They look a lot happier than their big bed on slot, said Harry. The dorm-strong students were pulling off their heavy furs and looking up at the starry black ceiling, with expressions of interest. A couple of them were picking up at the golden plates and goblets and examining them, apparently impressed. Up at the staff table, filled the character, West Agent Chairs. He was wearing his moldy own. toilet. In honor of the occasion, Harry was surprised to see that he added 4 chairs, 2 on each side burning labels. But there are only 2 extra people, Harry said. With Phil scooting out 4 chairs, who else is coming? Said Ron wickedly. He was still staring avidly at Crumb.
When all the students had entered the hall and settled down at their house tables, the staff entered, following up to the top table and taking the seats. Last in line were Professor Dumbledore, Professor Karkaroff, and Madame Maxim. When the headmistress sprayed the people from Baybatons leapt to their feet, 5 of the Hogwarts students laughed. The Baybatons party appeared quite unnumbered, however, and did not resign the seats until Madame Maxim had sat down on Dumbledore's left hand side. Dumbledore remained standing and silence fell over the bright hall. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, host and most particularly guest, said Dumbledore, wheeling around at the foreign students. I have great pleasure in welcoming you all to Hogwarts. I hope and trust that you stay here both comfortably and enjoyable. One of the Baybatons girl still clutching a muffler thrown her head gave what was a masterfully derisive laugh. No one's making you stay, Hermione whispered, bursting at her. The Turkman will be official open at the end of the opposite, said Dumbledore. I have invited you all to in the rank and make yourself at home.
Hagrid settled into the hall through a door behind the staff table 20 minutes after the start of the feast. He slipped into his seat at the entryway and carried Ron and Hermione with a very heavily bandaged hand. "Squares doing all right, Hagrid?" Garry called. "Throwing," Hagrid called back happily. "Yeah, I'll just bet they are," said Ron quietly. "Looks like they finally found a food they like, doesn't it?" Hagrid's fingers. At that moment a voice said, "Excuse me, are you missing the Bullabazes?" It was the girl from Beauxbatons, who had lounged during Dumbledore's speech. She had finally removed her muffler. A long sheet of silvery blonde hair fell amongst her waist. She had large, deep blue eyes and very white, even teeth. Ron went purple. He straight up at her, opened his mouth joyfully, but nothing came out except a pinching, gurgling noise. "Yeah, have it," said Garry, brushing the dish towards the girl. "You're finished with it?" "Yeah," Ron said briskly. "Yeah, it was excellent."
The girl picked up the dish and carried it carefully off to Raven's low table. Ron was still talking at the car as soft he had never seen one before. Harry started to laugh. The sound seemed to shock Ron back to his senses. "She's a real lady," said Hermione to Garry. "Of course she isn't," said Hermione thoughtfully. "I don't see anyone else hating at her like an idiot." But she was then splattered right about that as the girl crossed the hall. Many boys get them, and some of them seemed to have become temporarily speechless, just like Ron. "I'm telling you that's not a normal girl," said Ron, leaning sideways so he could get a clear view of care. They don't like that Harvard. They make them okay at Harvard, said Garry, without sitting. Cobb happened to be sitting only a few places away from the girl with the silvery hair. When you both stood your eyes back in the Hermione briskly, you be able to see who's just every day. She was rowing and at the staff table. The two remained empty seats get just built. Lodo Bachman was now sitting on Professor Karakov's other side, while Mr. Crouch's Percy's boss was next to Madame Maxim.
They organized the Wizard Tournament inside, said Hermione. I suppose they wanted to be here to see it start. When the second course arrived, they notioned a number of unfamiliar gestures too. One examined Dumbledore's short, pale, blanched clothes and moved as carefully a few inches to his right so they would be clearly visible from the Ravenclaw table. The girl, who looked like a real appearing to have eaten enough, however, and did not come over to get it. Once the golden plates had been wiped clean, Dumbledore stood up again. A pleasant sort of tension seemed to fill the hall now. Garry fell a slight thread of excitement, wondering what was coming. Several seats down from them, Fred and Georg were leaning forward, staring at Dumbledore with great commiseration. The moment has come, said Dumbledore, smiling around at the sea of upturned faces. The Wizard Tournament is about to start. I would like to say a few words of explanation before we bring in the cascade. The what? Garry muttered. Ron shrugged. Just to clarify the procedure that we will be following this year. But first let me instruct you for those who don't know the Mr. Bartman Crouch, head of the Department of International Magical Cooperation. There was a smattering of polite abuse. And Mr. Ludo Bachman, head of the Department of Magical Games and Sports. Mr. Bachman and Mr. Crouch have worked tirelessly over the last few months of the organames for the Wizard Tournament, Dumbledore's contusion, and they will be joining myself, Professor Kirkov, and Madame Maxim, and the panel that will judge the champions afterwards. The mention of the words champions, the addition of the listening students cannot too sharp. Third, Dumbledore had noticed their sudden fickleness, for he smiled as he said, "That is then if you please, Mr. Filch, who had been learning and educated in a far corner of the hall. Now, after each Dumbledore carrying a great wooden chest, unclasped with judgment, it looked extremely large. A murmur of excited interest rose from the watching students. Dennis Creevy actually stood on his chair to see properly, but being so tiny his head hardly rose above anyone else. The instructions for the task the champions will face this year have already been examined by Mr. Crouch and Mr. Bachman, the Dumbledore of Village placed the chess carefully on the table before him, and they have made the necessary arguments for each challenge. There will be 3 tasks paged through to the school year, and they will test the champions in many different ways. Their magical proofs, their darling, their powers of education, and of course their ability to cope with danger. As you know, the champions compete in the tournament, Dumbledore went on calmly. One from each of the participation schools. They will be marked on how well they perform each of the tournament tasks, and the champions with the highest total after tasks 3 will win the 3-wit cup. The champions will be chosen by one impartial selection, the Goblet of Fire. Dumbledore now took out his wand and tapped it 3 times upon the top of the casket. The lid creaked slowly open. Dumbledore reached inside and pulled out a large, round heaven water cup. It would have been a fairly unremarkable had it not been for the brim dispensing in white flame. Dumbledore closed the gates and placed the goblet carefully on the top of it where it would be clearly visible to everyone in the hall. Anybody wishing to submit themselves as champion must write their name and school glory upon a slip of parchment and drop it into the goblet, said Dumbledore. Special champions have 24 hours in which to put their names forward. Tomorrow night, Halloween, the goblet will return the names of the 3 it has judged must merge the represent their schools. The goblet will be placed in the entrance hall tonight, where it will be freely accessible to all those wishing to complete.
To answer now, encourage students eagerly to temptation, said Dumbledore. I will be drawing an edge line around the Goblet of Fire once it has been placed in the entrance hall. Nobody under the age of 17 will be able to cross this line. Finally, I wish to impress upon any of you wishing to compete that this tournament is not to be entered into lightly. When a champion has been selected by the Goblet of Fire, he or she is entitled to see the tournament through to the end. The placing of your name in the goblet constitutes a binding magical contract. There can be no change of heart once you have become a champion. Please be very sorry for that you wholeheartedly prepared to play before you drop your name into the goblet. How I think it is time for bed. Good night to you all. An aged lion, Fred Bailey, said, his eye glinting as they all might they way across the house to the door into the entrance hall. Well, that should be followed by an aged portion students eat, and once your name is in that goblet of your lacking, it can't detect whether you're 17 or not. But I don't think anyone under 17 will stand a chance, said Hermione. We just haven't learned enough. Speak for yourself, said George. Shortly you tried and get in, won't you? Hurry, hurry. Zocht brightly of Dumbledore's insistence that nobody under 17 should jubilant the name, but then the wonderful picture of himself winning the treasure tournament filled his mind. Again, he wondered how angry Dumbledore would be if someone younger than 17 did find a way to get over the age line. "Where is he?" said Ron. He wasn't listening to a word of this conversation, but looking through the ground, the crowd to see what had become of Crum. Dumbledore didn't say where the dormant people are sleeping, did he? What this query was answered almost instantly. They were level with the Alizarin table. Now a Karkaroff had just bustled and to his students. Walk to the ship when he was saying, "Victor, how you feeling? Did you eat enough? Should I send for some mulled wine from the kitchens?" Harry saw Crum shake his head as he pulled his glass back on Professor Ewood. "Like so wine," said one of the other. Dummerstein biased hopefully. "I was offering it to you, Poyaku," spun Karkaroff, his worshly partner up questioning in instant. I notice you have dribbled food all down the front of your robes again. Disgusting boy." Karkaroff thundered and led his students toward the doors, reaching them at exactly the same moment as Harry, Ron, and Hermione. Harry stopped to let him walk through first. "Thank you," said Karkaroff, carelessly glancing at him. And then Karkaroff raised he turned his head back to Harry and stared at him. Is there he killed Billevane? His eye behind the headmaster, the students from dumbstruck Kate to a hole to Karkaroff. I'm out. Slowly up Harry's face and fixed upon his car. The dumbstruck students were staring curiously at Harry too. Out of the corner of his eye, Harry saw comprehension David. On a feed of their faces, the boy with food all down his front nudged the girl next to him and pointed openly at Harry overhead. "Yeah, that's Harry Potter," said a growling voice from behind them. Professor Karkaroff spun around. Mad-Eye Moody was standing there, leaning heavily on his staff, his magical eye glaring unblinkingly at the dumbstruck headmaster. The color drained from Karkaroff's face as Harry watched. A terrible look of mingled fear and fear Come on him, you he said, staring in Moody. As her hug answered, he was really seeing him. Me, said Moody grimly, and unless you got anything to say to Potter, Carter, you might want to know you blocking the doorway. It was three how the students in the hall were now waiting behind them, looking over one another's shoulders to see what was causing the hold-on. That another word, Professor Karkaroff sent his students away, Behemoth watched him until he was out of his magical eye, fixed upon his back a look of interest, dislike upon his mutilated face. As the next day was Saturday, most students would normally have breakfastly late. Harry, Ron, and Hermione, however, not alone in rising much earlier than they usually did on weekends. When they went down into the entrance hall, they saw about 20 people milling around it, some of them eating taste, all examining the Goblet of Fire. It had been placed in the center of the hall on the stool that normally bore the sorting hat. As in golden line had been traced of the room, following a circle 10 feet around in every direction. Not the name it yet on or asked a third year girl eagerly. All the Dummerstrang lot she replied, but I haven't seen anyone from Hogwarts yet. But some of them burned it last night after we'd all gone to bed, said Harry. I would, if it been me, waddled how wondered everyone watching. What if the goblet just gobbled you right back out again?
Someone lies behind Harry. Then he saw Fred, George, and Leah John. Harry down the stakes, all three of them looking extremely excited. Done it, Fred said in whisper to Harry. Ron and Hermione, just take it. What? Said Ron. The agent potion dark race, said Fred. One drop it, said George, rubbing his hands together with sleep. We only need to be few months old. We are up going to sleep. The southern lesson winter the steals us in one of us with the lingering groan. I'm Dumbledore will have thought of this. Fred, George, and Leghorn had. Ready. Ered said to the us to question with examine. Simon then I'll go first. Harry watched fascinated as Fred put asleep. Oh, pumpkin, oh, his poker bearing. The worst Fred Weasley Hogwarts. Fred walked up to the edge of the light and stood there rocking on his tall leg, a diver, prepared for a 50-foot dobson. With that eye of every person in the entrance hall up he took a great breath and stepped over the line. For a split second, Harry thought it had worked dirt steadily, for he let out a yell of triumph and leaped after Fred, but next moment there was a loud, sizzling sound and both twins were hauled out of the water. Cycle as thought they had been shrunk by an invisible shock put. The lander painful 10 feet, even on the cold stone floor and to add inside to injury there was a loud, popping nose and both of the spotted identically long was burst. The entrance hall read with laughter. Even Fred and George joined is what they had gotten to their feet and taken a good look at each other's boards. And did one, you said, a bit amused. Wasn't everyone turned to see Professor Dumbledore coming out of the great hall? He saw Fred and George, he asked quickly. I suggest was go up to Madame Perfect. She is older, tending to Miss Fawcett. Oh, Ravenclaw and Mr. Summers of Hufflepuff, both of who decided to answer themselves up a little too. So, thought I must say names of the birds is innocent, like as fat as yours. Fred and George set off for the hospital, when accompanied by Lee. He was having with laughter, and Harry, Ron, and Hermione, all chuckling, went into breakfast. The decorations in the grand hall had changed this morning. It was Halloween. A good of live beds was fluttering around the interchange. Sail wife, hungry of coughed, pumping lived from every corner. Harry led the van over to Dean, and seems to wear the skins those Hogwarts students of 70 who might be entering. There's a rumor going around that Varian got up early and put his name in. Dean told Harry. That big blonde from Slytherin who looks like a sloth. Harry, who had played Quidditch, a game variant shook his head in Dixon. Weekend had Slytherin champion, and all the Half-Foods talking about Diggory said Seamus comments, but I wouldn't have thought he'd have wandered to risk his good looks. Listen, said Hermione suddenly. People were cheering out in the ancient hall.
You are kidding, said Ron, looking impressed. Are you 17? That asked Harry. Course she is, can see a bird, can you, said Ron. I had my birthday last week, said Angelina. Well, I am glad someone from Gryffindor's and Derry, said Hermione. I really hope you get it, Angelina. Thanks, Hermione, said Angelina, smiling at her. Yes, better you than pretty boy, Diggory, said Seamus, causing several puffy pluffs, passing their table to show Huey at him. What are we going to do today, then? Ron asked her and Hermione when they had finished breakfast and went leaving a great hell. We haven't been down to visit Henry yet, said Harry. Okay, said Ron, just as long as he doesn't ask us to donate a few fingers to the scraps. A look of great examined studently dawned on Hermione's face. I live just realized I haven't asked Hagrid to join SPAY yet, she said bridgingly. Wait for me, will you, while I nip Eustace and get the badges. What it is which here, said Ron, expressing it as Hermione ran away up to marble staircase. Hey, Ron, said Harry suddenly, it is your friends. The students from Buckbatons were coming through the front doors from the groups among the field gear. Though Gedgert around the Goblet of Fire stood back to let them pass, watching clearly. Madame Maxime, instead the hill beckoned her students and organized them into a line. 1v1, the Buckbaton students stepped across the age line and dropped their steels of parchment into the blue-white flames. As each name entering the fire is turning briefly red and emanating sparks. What do you reckon I happened to the ones who aren't closing? Ron muttered the Harry as the Girl dropped her parchment into Goblet of Fire. Reckon they'll do back to school, or hang around the watch the tournament. Do not, sighed Harry. Head around, I suppose. Madame Maxime is trying to judge, isn't she? When all the Buckbaton students had submitted their names, Madame Maxime led them back out at the hall and out onto the grounds again. Where are they sleeping then? Said Ron, moving, viewing the front doors and staring after them. A low threatening noise began them, announcing Hermione's reappearance with the box of SPAY badges. Oh, good, Harry! Up said Ron, and he jumped down the stone steps, keeping his eyes on the back of the villa girl, who was now halfway across the lawn with Madame Maxime, as they heard Hedwig's cabin on the edge of the forbidden forest. The mastery of the Buckbaton sleeping cures was solved. Ludo Beckman was beaming and winking at various students. Mr. Crouch, however looked quite uninterested, almost bored. Well, the goblet is almost ready to make its decision, said Dumbledore. I estimate that it requires 1 more minute. Now when the champions' names are called, I would ask them please to come up to him top at the hall, walk along the staff table, and go touch into the next chamber. He inside the door behind the staff table, where they will be writing their first instructions. He took out his wand, gave a great sweeping, with which it and Uncle L, the gunless expert, those inside the corporate pumpings, were exchanged, plunging them into a state of semi-darkness. The Goblet of Fire now shone more brightly than anything in the wall, held the speaking bridge blue hiddeness of the flames almost painful on the ears. Everyone watching, waiting. A few people kept checking their watches any second. Lee Jordan, his parent, 2 sets away from Harry.